Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, and today I wanted to discuss and share my thoughts with all of you about the demise of the SSMU, also known as the Sony Spider-Man Universe, which has now been officially declared as dead, and what I think should be the next move going forward as far as the future of the SSMU is concerned. So when Sony announced that they were going to be building up their own cinematic universe and it was going to feature various Spider-Man villains in their own standalone movies, I knew that the moment that Sony said that none of these movies were going to feature Spider-Man or reference Spider-Man, yeah, it was doomed from day one, before it even got off the ground. Now, I've said in various YouTubers' videos and their posts that if you're going to build a cinematic universe, first of all, it's got to make sense. Two, you've got to have a team of good writers and well executed stories. And three, you've got to have all of these films connected to each other and it's got to lead up to a payoff. Now, take, for example, the MCU. The first phase of MCU movies built up to something, which was, of course, the formation of the Avengers. For me, one of the greatest and most well executed things in the history of movies. You're not going to better that. Excellent. And they built up to the Infinity Stones, Thanos arriving, all of the MCU coming together in this Lord of the Rings esque Battle of Middle Earth type moment with everyone battling Thanos and his Black Order army. You're never ever going to see anything like that again, not in this lifetime. Now, it's no secret that Spider Man is Sony's baby. It's their golden goose. And we know how much money it generates, we know how much prestige it carries, and we know that Spider Man, in my personal opinion, Spider Man, as far as pop culture and comic book media is concerned, Spider Man is probably the biggest name on the planet. You know, he's got to be up there with like Batman, just in terms of revenue and majesty, you know, the respect and admiration it commands just on the name alone. And, you know, having a cinematic universe without Spider Man, that's like having a DC cinematic universe without Batman. It just can't be done. It just doesn't work. And, you know, we've had a number of SSMU movies, and quite frankly, apart from the two Venom movies, which for the most part were quite good, Morbius, yeah, they tried, but it didn't work. Most of these movies have been terrible. I can't say that about Craven the Hunter. I haven't seen that one yet, but from what I'm hearing, it's really bad. And everybody knows how I feel about Madam Web. I mean, you can check out my movie review on that one. I completely roasted the crap out of that. But, you know, the idea of having all of these Spider-Man centered characters in their own standalone movies and you're not going to pay it off with anything, it's just ridiculous. It really is. And what makes me laugh is that, you know, they put out these movies and they just seem to get worse. You know, they don't seem to like try and make things better. And some of the stuff doesn't make sense. I mean, take Morbius, for example. We see Morbius meeting Adrian Toomes at the end in the post credits. You know, he gets teleported into another universe. Okay, if you two are going to be working together, are we going to see Spider Man in these movies? Probably not. they're just building up to something that's not going to have a payoff. And for me, it's just stupid. That's why this cinematic universe, as I said before, was doomed from day one. It just wasn't going to work. As far as I'm concerned, no Spider Man, no interest. Are we going to see Craven fight Spider Man? No, probably not. Are we going to see Venom meet Spider Man? We probably will, but I personally think that would happen in the MCU, not in this universe. Morbius meeting Spider Man, I can see that, but not in this universe. And don't even get me started on Madam Web. You know, Madam Web, as I've said before, when I think of Madam Web, I think of the old lady with the white hair and dark red John Lennon glasses wearing that dress sitting on the chair. I don't think of a very good looking lady like Dakota Johnson, and she is very good looking. But yeah, that's not really what you want to see. But I think what Sony should do now, I mean, from what I've read, this universe is pretty much dead in the water, as it should be. I don't want to see another Sony movie, doing this sort of concept. It's just not going to work. Now, I think the best thing for Sony going forward is just give all the rights back to Marvel. Have these characters rebooted and featured in Spider Man movies going forward. I think that's the right thing to do. Now, Tom Hardy's Venom, which I think is probably the best out of this car crash. I think what you could do is have him in the MCU as Eddie Brock, but it's not the Eddie Brock from this universe. Have an Eddie Brock in the MCU already. I think that would work because he seems to be the only one that seems to come out not too bad. Although the two Venom movies weren't perfect, they were still more enjoyable than the rest of these Sony movies. So I think that could be the way going forward. Maybe do that. But as far as the rest, yeah, just reboot them and start all over again because this ain't going to work. It just the idea of a cinematic universe without Spider-Man is just stupid. It really is. But I think that's the best thing to do going forward. Don't try and do this again. Have Spider-Man in the MCU, give all the rights back to Marvel, and let them showcase these characters properly. Because let's face it, Sony, as big as their wallet is, their brains and execution are not so big. I think personally, what Sony should do is stick to animation because look at the two Spider Verse movies. They were excellent. They really were. I mean, Across the Spider Verse, which was the second movie, was my film of the year. I gave that a 10 out of 10. I thought that was one of the best things Sony ever did, if not the best thing. It was so good. It was a very long film, but I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun. So I think at this stage, stay out of live action, stick to animation, and the rest will follow. But as far as the SSMU is concerned, I'm just glad it's over because it was just getting very painful and embarrassing all round for everyone involved. As far as Craven the Hunter is concerned, I'm a huge fan of Craven. He's one of my all time favourite Spider Man villains. I will probably go and see it just to say that I've seen all of these movies, just to wrap it up. And I'll make an opinion on that after. But from what I've been seeing and hearing, I don't think I'm going to like this one. But I've been wrong before. But we're just going to have to wait and see. But that's my thoughts and opinions. Leave the live action stuff alone, stick to animation, and just give all the rights back to Marvel and let them handle their business because they have a track record of getting the job done. Sony, yeah, they might be the bigger name, but they haven't got a good track record. If you don't believe me, just look at what they did with the Andrew Garfield Spider Man movies. Ridiculous. And Andrew Garfield, great actor, top Spider Man, but those two films, they were okay, but yeah, they could have been better. So anyway, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. How do you guys feel about the Sony Spider-Man universe being over? Are you happy about it? Are you sad? Was there any of those movies did you enjoy the most? And also, what do you think the best thing going forward would be for Sony? Concentrate on animation or have another crack at live action? Or do you think they should just give all of the rights back to Marvel and let them handle it? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.